Trials Day. For me, the best single days racing of the entire season. We've got a cracking 8-race card to look forward to at Cheltenham this weekend as well. Joel is joining us as always. And Frankie, this is like the fast show, isn't it? Wherever Frankie, this week, I'm mostly broadcasting from, where are you?
Miami. Not quite sunny Miami, though. It's raining over here. But yeah, I'm over here for the Pegasus World Cup, which was once the richest race in the world. Now it's worth $3 million. There's lots of contenders on the dirt. There's not many UK or Irish jockeys over here that we can get excited about, just Asheen Murphy. But I will certainly be tuning in to Cheltenham because there is some proper jumps racing action, isn't there?
There it is. We're going to Miami. Joel, he's off again.
Oh, there we go. He's yeah. I mean, we complain about prize money in this country. $3 million to run around a couple of bends. Is that Irad Ortiz got a ride? Because he was really good when he came over here, wasn't he?
He is. I think he's the most winning jockey of the Pegasus World Cup. I think he's won it 3 times, so he's certainly pocketed a few quid.
That's why I said it. You see, there you go. And they're off. Here we go in the $3 million Pegasus, and it's coming to the line. He's only hit it 14,000 times. Irad Ortiz gets a fourth.
Yeah, the clubhouse turn. Yeah,
yeah.
A little bit different. That's the American dirt action. We're focusing on the jumping on the turf, though, at Cheltenham. Let's get stuck into it, boys, because there's a belting card. And probably the best festival trial comes up the first race, because in the last 7 years, the last 7 winners of this race have gone onto the festival and finished first, second, fourth, and first. Yes, 4 of the last 7 winners of this race have gone on to win at the festival. I'll start with you, Frankie. What wins the Timeform Novices Handicap Chase?
It's an impressive stat, that, and it's sort of put a little bit of doubt in my mind, but I'm going rogue here. Like the McNeils have got 2 in the race. They own a Calafé on Vol at the top of the market for Henderson, and they also own Quebecois, who really hasn't got the hang of things over fences so far. But sometimes you just have a horse that you'd like to keep on side, and there's a horse, you sort of follow them and you think, I'm sure they've got a race in them. I'm sure they're better than what they're showing. And look, he hasn't put it together. He was beaten at odds on favourite at Exeter, and then he's beaten 60-odd lengths and tailed off last time at Sandown. He's down to a mark of 135. I think he's got talent, Quebecois. I do. I really do think there's some talent in there, and hopefully young Freddie Gingell can unearth it. So it's not the most straightforward shout, and off his bare form over fences, I would understand why you'd argue against me. But what he did over hurdles, his mark's coming down. He's a horse I do feel like he's got a race in him, and stranger things have happened on Trials Day. I would give Quebecois an each-way chance here. He's just got to get into a rhythm. So over to you, Freddie.
Yeah, of course, Harry Cobden not fit enough to ride in Trials Day. So, Joel, Frankie starts with a loser in the opener. What do you fancy?
It's one of my 3 bets of the weekend. I started looking at 12 at 5. I thought, we're doing 8 races. This has got to be gash, but it's actually really good. It's really good. And I go for Push the Button for Mark Walford.
I knew you would. I was about to say, let's get the lowdown.
No, but it went from Nigel's, didn't he? Old Twister. Was beaten half a length by the JP Gamble, Meet Me by the Sea, or whatever I called it last time. Meet Me by the Water, Meet Me on the Bike Sheds, or whatever. That was at Wetherby in November. It was beaten by Sam Thomas's Steel Ally Ascot. No Questions Asked was back in 3rd. That went on to go and beat Be Aware Windsor last week. Won at Carlisle mid-October. Ruby Island was 2nd. Nicky Richards, that's won since. I think I'm all over this. I mean, look, it's competitive, but I think Push the Button. And it's Mark Walford as well. It's only about 5-1. There has been a bit of money for it. And being a Mark Walford horse, you'd expect it to be at least double figures. So when you see one of his about 5-1 in a really competitive field like this, and they think a hell of a lot of this horse, Push the Button. It's borderline nap material in a very, very competitive race at the start of the day.
Yeah, they did mention maybe going to Ascot for the Reynoldstown as well, potentially, and then back to Cheltenham. So they certainly have high opinion of him. Interest in Push the Button. Good to get the low down there. Joel, his inside track from Mark Walford. I thought Califat en Vol, if he's going to win one, it could be this one. And if there's a festival winner in there, it may just be him as well. And it was interesting because obviously pre-entries, Gordon Elliott had 5 in there. He was just testing the water to see what handicap marks he gets. So it was always going to be a race that cut up Let's move on to the next. 10 stood their ground then in the Triumph Hurdle Trial. Got Maestro Conte for the Skelters. Got Manila Yoga, of course, lowered the cause of Active Innocence, who was later on in the card at Newbury, getting loads of weight that day for Paul Nicholls. Sam Twiston-Davis, we believe, may be taking over with Mary Cobden, is in the plate. We've got a French raid. Lots of French runners on the card as well this weekend. I'll start with you this time, Joel. What wins the Triumph Hurdle Trial?
I think bookies have got this the wrong way around. You said about Manila Yoga beating Active Innocence, Endo's horse. And I think that day it was 11 stone 12 against 10 stone 6. That Manila Yoga debut for Paul Nicholls after coming over from Ireland was a 5-length winner at Fairy House. Jumped lovely, really nice, back on the bridle after every jump. And then I'm looking at Maestro Conti. It won by 9.5 lengths. It was 13-8 on that day. It beaten out behind. Brave Guest was second to Sheena West's. Since then, it's unseated the rider. Is it Zarkan the Jack or whatever it's called? That was back in third. That was a non-runner last week at Leicester. There's really not a lot between these two, but one's got Harry Skelton on, one's got Sam Twiston-Davis on. So I'd be all over the second favourite. Manila Yoga here. And as you mentioned, for a place, I watched some replays of Bryony in France on Miss de Boulogne, I think is how you pronounce it.
Very nice.
It's been pretty much running at Auteuil. She fell off it at Pau last time. But it's really hard to work out and compare the French form and whatever. But it looks like the horse has got heart and keeps trying, and it's got some half decent form there. So I would have that each way, and out the two, I'd go Manila Yoga all day long.
Okay, Manila Yoga then, Frankie?
All aboard, gents. It's a Paul Nicholls double on trials day. No drama this end. I'll be getting cut for the Turner's Novice Hurdle by the time we get to 12.50, I think. After Paul Nicholls bangs 2 Cheltenham winners in. I agree, Joel. Yeah, I think he's got the best form in the book. And he was giving a lot of weight away last time to Active Innocence, but he was a winner on soft ground at Fairy House before he came to Nicholls. He's beaten a nice horse in Active Innocence. I think he's got the best form in the book for a youngster, and Sammy Twiston can throw the kitchen sink at it at Cheltenham. He's good at Cheltenham, isn't he, Sam?
Excellent. Yeah, I think Manila Yoga could be the one to beat as well, and at the prices certainly represents the value of the front two. Right, move on to 2.5 mile handicap chase once again. Is this the day the Jaguar once again his head in front? He's a festival winner. They are talking about the Rhino. We've heard from Josh Guerrero, Ollie Greenland, of course, John Joe Jr. on our Road to Cheltenham show. Is this the day he arrives? He's put all his jumping frailties behind him and lays down a festival marker, Frankie?
You've got to hope so, haven't you? You've got to be behind him. I am. I think so. You could say, well, the festival's around the corner now. If he runs steady here, he can have a crack at the festival off a better mark. But from the comments that Josh and Ollie made, from what we saw of him last year winning at the festival, he really should be capable of winning this off of his mark and against the field that he faces. It's not the strongest field in the world. And I know it's a handicap, so weights are adjusted accordingly, but I think he should be a class above these, really. So you'd like to see him put it all together. What I want to see from him is that he jumps round well and that he gets into a nice rhythm, and who knows what the handicapper does and where he goes at Cheltenham, whether it's graded races or whether it's a handicap or whether it's even a step up in trip. But I think you get stuck into him today, really. I think you should win this.
Me too. Joel?
Me 3. So first of all, that big stat out of this race is if you're 9 or over, you just don't win. The only thing that's putting me off Jaguar is, remember Rocco last year in this race? In the same colours when Jock was pulled in and the horse had lost its confidence, so the jockey felt that the hands and heels was the only thing to do. That's the only thing that puts me off. If everything was 100% to go, I think Jaguar would win this hands down, staying on so well last time. And last year's winner, Moon d'Orange, it's had eight runs since this, and has not won. It is a couple of pound lower, and Alex Harvey takes the 3 off there. But Jaguar should go and win. The only thing in the back of my mind is what Iroko did last year in the same colours in this race.
Yeah, I mean, if they're thinking right now, they're not bothered about the mark, are they? So it is an interesting point to make, though. Let's talk about the cross country. 16 declared. And Joel, you're talking to prominent British female band members at some point this weekend. And, of course, Let's Go Round Again was another big hit for a female band member. And Let's Go Round Again is exactly what they keep on doing in this cross country, round and round and round. But what comes out on top?
My first question was, where is Mr. Coffee? So I did a little search last night, and Mr. Coffee is entered at Wednesday in a 3-mile beginner's chase at Exeter.
Beginner's chase?
No, he's 11. He's 11, a beginner's chase at Exeter. So
he's finished the Grand National and he's in a beginner's chase.
A beginner's chase? You sure it's not a novice chase?
No, honestly, you go and have a look at Exeter on Wednesday. Because I had to look straight away and go, sorry, what? 11 years old, beginner's chase? I thought he'd turn up here and be plodding down to the end to, land the place part. Look, this favourite, the J'arrive de l'Est, is that how you're saying it today? Was 5-1 earlier in the week, is now shorter than 2-1. But I didn't know at this point that this horse needs to win to get into the festival, the big race. So that's why the money's come for this one. And the only other one I liked in this one, look, he's a plodder, he's a boat, unanswered prayers. It took my eye that Charlie Deutsch has been booked for this, and you know how beautiful he is riding over fences. This horse likes to be ridden out the back and just tries to come and pick up the pieces, and I think that's what will happen. So I think he'll stay on some place money, but the money is down already. J'arrive de l'Est should take all the beating here with the application of cash and needs to win to be in the big one at Cheltenham.
Nicely butchered. Frankie?
I'm going to give a squeak to Top Weight. Not French trained or owned or ridden, but a French name, Favre de Comte du, for Gordon Elliott, who we know is very good at getting graded horses to win these sort of races. He does have a task ahead of him, carrying 12 stone, but he won last time out at Leopardstown. Beat a half-decent field at 66-1. Whether that was fluke or not, we'll find out. But sometimes you catch these older horses in a bit of form, and it's worth rolling the dice a couple of times in a row with them. I don't think he's a Cheltenham Festival winner in waiting, but I don't actually think this is the strongest field, really. There are a couple in there lurking, but yeah, I'm going to give Jack Kennedy a squeak for Favre de Champdou, carrying 12 stone over these fences.
Yeah, 60 runners, but not many with chance, you would think, would you? Looking at it. So, yeah, off the Top Weight, best horse of the race, theoretically. That'll do for Frankie. Right, Gold Cup trial, in all but name, really. Cheltenham's are quite chuffed here at the opposition. Splains Tower, a very interesting opponent. Flooring Port, I thought, was being entered for the Cleeve, but they've come here instead. And L'Homme Press is back here in an eye-catching race here back at the December meeting. An intriguing renewal, but is it Grey Dawn is to lose, Joel? Not
any one of these horses needs to win. When you look at it, do they? You got Flooring Porter, who's going to Grand National, has been off for 6 years. L'Homme Press, you said it was eye-catching last time. Venetia's probably had a worse season. So you're taking that on trust. Spillans Tower needs to really show that this horse is as good as they think it was. I think it's been personally campaigned really badly. And Grey Dawning, they overworked this horse last year. Do you remember? Betfair Chase and whatever. But Dan learnt from that. So if that finished second and ran okay, he wouldn't be bothered. It's a Gold Cup horse. But they're not going to bottom him out. Only 40 odd days away from the festival. So it's one where I wouldn't have a bet. I'd watch it, I'd enjoy, and I wouldn't even. I mean, Grey Dawning's the obvious winner, but it ain't going to be knocked around. I mean, do you agree? You don't have to bet in every race.
Frankie?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a weird race. It's a funny race, and I do agree, Joel, that given the way that Grey Dawning has been campaigned previously, and Dan Scouten said, well, he's had a hard race and we got it wrong. This close to Cheltenham, you would be if you had your money on at 8-13 or 1-2, whatever he's going to go off, you would be concerned about the fact that this is not the be all and end all of him. But you try and take him on. That's right. That's why I say it's an interesting race. Spillans Tower had the strangest career over hurdles. I like the fact that he gets £6 from the favourite. I like the fact that Jack Kennedy's on board. There is a lot to like about him, but off his form book, it's not exactly exciting. And then L'Homme Press, I almost teased myself into his last year's winner. But you look at last year's race and he beat Stage Star by half a length or whatever it is. Like, he's not exactly a proper horse, is he? So I fully agree. all roads lead back to Grey Dawning being the best horse in the race, but he's bloody short.
Here's one for you. I'm just looking up now. Loads of favourites have been beaten in this race. Protector Rat, Bristol de May twice, Thistle Crack.
It's always a funny race, this, I find. It's
a spectacle, but nobody is going to be cheesed off if you're an owner, trainer, whatever, if your horse doesn't win this race. It's not the Gold Cup, is it? This is what I'm saying.
It's not, but it's 70 grand.
Could be for long press. Could be for long press.
Yeah, maybe that's the bet. But I won't be touching it. I'll be watching it.
Put it this way: we've got Jaguar the right side of evens, and we've got Grey Dawn on the wrong side. You know who you'd be with, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
All right. Interesting points made on the Cotswold chase. What about the international then, which looks a match? So Gina versus the New Lion. Is it a match, and what comes out on top, Frankie?
I think so. Yeah, I'd definitely say it's a match, and I mean, there's unknowns about the pair of them. I would like to believe the talks of Sergino being the best horse in training. I would like to think that he goes and wins this. And it is actually really exciting for him to have proper opposition in the New Lion. Where I think the biggest disparity comes is probably over trip. The New Lion was a festival winner over 2.5 last year. And once you sort of progress from that 2.5 mile hurdle trip, there's not actually loads of places for you to go unless you go over fences. Sergino looks an out and out 2-miler, absolute superstar. He could probably win the champion chase if they made a change last minute. I do think that he goes and wins this. And I think it's really exciting that we've got a proper field for him to be weighed up against. So fingers crossed. And I guess if there's no value in 1 to 2, some people might like to have a crack at March and have a bet ahead of Saturday for the champion hurdle if you think it's going to go the way that I do.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2 years ago this day they actually burst on the scene, slamming Burdock Road in the Triumph Hurdle trial. Do we see something similar, Joel? Can the New Lion bustle him up?
Well, the first thing I said after Harry Skelton decking the New Lion last time was Mark Walsh rides this next time. How wrong could I be? Mark Walsh rides this next time. No, he doesn't. Harry Cobden rides it next time. He's injured. So Harry will want to make up for this. I mean, this should be really good. This should be really good. A proper old school match. But it could be a bit like the Fighting Fifth, where Golden Ace beats Amsterdam or one of those. Oh, Nemean Lion was in third that day, 40-1. By neck. Look, I think Sergino wins. That's it. I'd probably mix them up in forecasts because you never know at this level, and all you need is one of the top two to be out the two to make a little bit of a profit, and you're not losing a lot. Them 12 bets. I think Sergino wins this. Now, if I was more confident with Jaguar, I'd stick him in a double.
Nice. Okay. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it? I mean, we've got some brilliant races, 5 of them in front of the ITV cameras, but 3 of them got odds-on favourites, struggling betting medium, small fields. Obviously, I know there's lots of quality on show, included in the Cleeve. Impose Etoile, the 3rd odds-on favourite in a row. Does he enhance his stayers claim, or does he block his copybook, Joel?
I went round and round and round last night and this morning. So you go Impose Etoile, Strong Leader, Honesty Policy. When we're talking about these 3, I know Honesty Policy is not in the race, but Honesty Policy would be the best of those 3 from the is it Long Walk Hurdle? Was that what it? Yeah, and Impose Etoile. Yeah, I mean, Strong Leader tries but doesn't like Cheltenham. All his best form is away on flat tracks.
Or jumping.
You are?
Or jumping. He'd like a
it's a good point. The thing last night was I'm unsure of the ground now. It's 40k to the winner, but I don't think Impose Etoile would be risked if the ground wasn't right. I went round and round and round, but then came back to Doddy the Great as your proper each way thievery. Ascot just staying on, flew home. So I think I'd take Doddy the Great in this one. And am I right in thinking, I'm just having a look now, I don't think Nicky Henderson's ever won this race. And I've put up 2 Nicky Henderson horses. Yeah, I got a lot. Impose Etoile, the obvious one, but Doddy the Great each way at a thieving an account closing bet. I think that's 7 or 8 to 1, something like that.
Frankie?
I almost agree. I think Nick Henderson will win it. I think Impose Etoile will win, but agree that Dolly the Great might follow him home. Strong leader can't jump, no good round Cheltenham. Marchand 2 probably wants it a little bit quicker than what it currently is. And Dolly the Great is a festival winner and one that's climbing the handicap ranks. So I'd be somewhat with you, Joel, but I reckon it's an imposatoire absolute romp. I reckon this could be hands and heels from Nico. Hopefully he's full of confidence after riding Sagino, and this, I think, could just scoot up. It will be funny to place him for the festival after this, because this is not a field that really gives you any sort of gauge on the Stayers hurdle. But I do think he'll scoot up. I think he's a miles ahead of the field, to be honest.
Yeah, he is.
I want to talk about Sagino or 10 to 11 about Imposatoire, and I'd certainly have as much confidence in him as Imposatoire as winning as I would. I'd have more actually than I would Sagino.
That's the double I've got to be doing tomorrow, I think, isn't the Nicky Anderson double? I put him up for the Stayers this week in the road to Cheltenham, hoping that he would win very impressively and shorten in price. And obviously the French raider, Thelemy, was entered. He's out. And so his strong lead has been beaten in probably 2 weaker renewals of this race the last 2 years. Galroad won it last year. He's not been in the same form this season, though. And Marchand 2, excellent handicap. I'm not sure he's up to this guy. It's only the ground, I think, that maybe getting Imposatoire beat, or had some hard races. That's a little bit of a concern, but hopefully he wins well here, freshened up, back for the festival. That'll do me. Do you know what? Arguably, the most informative and best race, maybe late save till last. This is a cracking novice hurdle. Absolute belter. Joel, I'll let you take the floor. Frankie, I'll let you take the floor first. Hopefully the dead 8 turn up.
Yeah, it's a proper race, isn't it? And horses in there with bags of potential. I would guess you know where I'm going, although it doesn't, John McConnell's not quite listening to my comments as a trainer about heads up, and I reckon he should go 2 miles and in the Supreme. But I've got to stick with him. I just believe there is quality in there. Danny Mullins takes over, which is a big plus.
What a week he's had.
Yeah.
He's almost... He's almost in it.
It's too late. He normally says it for the DRF, doesn't he?
Yeah. He does. Almost an enigma for any horse, let alone one that finished second in a champion bumper, which is working out a dream. And look, he went off like a head case at Cheltenham last time, over 2.5, didn't get home, and was only beaten, in fairness, by maybe the best British chance, or no, I wouldn't go that far, but the Turner's favourite in No Drama this end. I think if Danny Mullins settles heads up, I think there's a big performance in him. And I'm glad I didn't put him up for the Supreme, because it looks quite obvious what they're thinking, doesn't it, now that he's here over 2.5. So watch him early on, see how he starts his race. But I think he's hopefully the most talented horse in there, heads up.
Interesting. Danny Mullins is only ride on the card as well, coming over to ride him, Joel.
Yeah. What I would do here is, if Active Innocence, wins. This was when I first looked at it. Active Innocence wins, depending on what happens in the Triumph earlier on, right? In the trial for that earlier on, we talked about the weight last time. Manila Yoga and Active Innocence 10-6 against 11-12. If Manila Yoga wins and wins well, Active Innocence is the play. If not, I completely agree with Frankie. Heads up, and I'd probably back heads up with the insurance that we're getting best odds guaranteed now as well. So if I'm backing him at 4s, 9-2 or something like that, and Active Innocence then suddenly gets smashed in after Manila Yoga wins, and we're at 7s, 8-1, I'm getting paid out of that, aren't I? So that's where I'm going.
Okay, good mention of best odds guaranteed as well. Yes, best odds guaranteed all race in the UK and Ireland on the day of race as well. So well worth bearing that in mind. Best offer around, best odds guaranteed all UK and Irish racing. Right, boys, 8 brilliant races. We'll have lots of market movement. Road to Cheltenham will be good fun to discuss on Monday. And then we'll do it all again for the DRF next weekend. But what I want is your best bets for the weekend, starting with you, Joel.
Big fan of the Sugar Babes, big fan of Mount Walford, 12:05 Cheltenham. Push the button. First race, we're in there. Push the button.
It's all about the female groups, isn't it? Frankie?
I'd love to give you the JP double in Jaguar and Imposatoire, but if you're asking me for one, heads up is completely the wrong price, in my opinion, in the last. I think it should be much closer to the top of the market, and I'm not even going to back him each way. I think get stuck in, heads up and Danny Mullins in the last.
There we are. First and last race then, best bets bookending what is a tremendous Trials Day card at Cheltenham. Whatever happens over these 8 fantastic races on Saturday, make sure you join us on a Monday. Subscribe, like this channel, because on Monday we will dissect all the 8 races and the effect it has had on the festival market. So up for that, boys?
I'm up for it. Should be a 4-hour show on Monday, I reckon.
Really could be. It'll be an 8-hour show after the DRF as well. Brilliant. Right. Best of luck. Cracking racing. Something for everyone. Cracking handicaps. Some small field, short price favourites as well in the graded contest. Enjoy Cheltenham Trials Day on Saturday, and we will see you on Monday.